everybody, and welcome to the Flute Practice. It is day 25 of this Flute Bootcamp series, and today we are digging back into the Della Sonorite book. We are going to be looking at a different exercise in the book than the one we've been looking at, one specifically to deal with our intervals and really practice them. So let's go check it out. So the exercise I am looking at starts on page 15 of this book. If you have got this book, if you haven't got this book, I am going to be showing this exercise to you so you can kind of copy what I'm doing. Basically, we're starting on, the book starts on E. I like to actually start on G just because it's, a more comfortable note for me. I always find my tone on E is like not so great, and E is a difficult note. So maybe that's a nice, spot to go after you kind of getting used to this exercise, getting comfortable, and you warmed up nicely to start on that E because it is a tricky register to deal with. So basically we are going from G, then we're going up a semitone to G sharp, then back to G, then up, another semitone step, so to the A, then back to G, then A sharp, then back to G, then B, back to G, and so on and so forth. So we're each time climbing a little semitone, basically increasing that interval each time by a semitone. And why this is so useful is because we are slowly adjusting that embouchure to the change in interval. And this is why this exercise is just so great for interval playing. So let's start playing and let's see where it goes. Now in the book, the exercise is actually written as little triplet figures, so that we have that same thing that we talked about with those thirds and sixes, that we're not da 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 emphasizing one or the other note all the time, but that we're really trying to think of that nice straight line, trying to make those intervals as smooth as possible. So where was I? And stop where you kind of get stuck a little bit. Like if you get stuck at a specific interval, just stop, spend a bit of time there, and then move on. Maybe even take a step back, go back to the previous interval that you managed, and just find out where these little niggly corners are. It's really great for that. Now, one of you asked me the question to help you a little bit with especially going down the interval or going down the octave with embouchure and what you've got to do there. I want you to feel how this embouchure only moves ever so slightly between these intervals as you move up and down. And I also want you to realize that as we move down, you're going to need to just release that embouchure each time a little bit. I think one of the biggest problems with this exercise is we progressively kind of build up tension and we get more and more tense. And we actually have to constantly just think of this letting go. So I'm going to go do a little bit higher. So you can just do the one octave if that's what you're comfortable with, or you can jump, 2 octaves. So I was already noticing there, like I was starting to get quite tense and quite tight. And this is like a safety mechanism. I know we all do it to try and be protective, but we just have to undo and just let ourselves release. Now, if this big leaps are really just a little bit too much, you may want to just go up the octave on the G and start again from there. So, and then going into that high third octave. Guys, use this exercise, adapt this exercise as you need it. Not just kind of like following what's written there just because, for the sake of it. Really mold it, shape it, make it your own, use it to your advantage. All right, everybody, have fun with those intervals. Have fun just exploring this whole system. Until tomorrow, happy practicing and see you then.